am a mocha mom just like many of you, and I'm back to do a cornrow tutorial. So when it comes to doing a cornrow, what you want to do is start with perfectly detangled hair. I washed her hair yesterday. I put it in 3 big braids. I detangled it with my fingers. I put it in 3 big braids to stretch the hair out because I don't use heat to stretch out their hair. And I allowed it to dry overnight. This morning it's completely dry. I took the hair down. I only did the first 2 braids. The back is still braided up. I took the hair down and then I slowly went through it with my Denman brush. The first thing you want to do is decide what orientation you want your cornrows to lie. For this style, I'm planning to cornrow the front of her hair almost into a half ponytail, and the back will be box braids. So what I've done is I've sectioned her hair in half. As far as parting goes, think of making a part as drawing a line. You're drawing the outline of the shape you want the cornrow you're about to do to take. So it really matters. The tool that you use really matters. When I was growing up, my mom used to have a much bigger comb than this, but it was an entire comb, and she would use the top portion of the comb to make her parts. When I got my girls, I started using the tail end of a rat tail comb to make my parts. Sometimes I can't get a really crisp part with this, but it works well to get the general part that I want, and then afterwards I can clean it up with this metal tip comb, which I found makes the crispest parts out of all the tools I've ever used. But you have to be really gentle with this, because if you press too hard, you can scratch your daughter's scalp and cause her pain. Now this is a huge section, and I chose that to do that because I found that it's harder to show you what I'm doing with a small section of hair. So with a cornrow, you're always starting with 3 strands, just like you would if you're doing a box braid. 1, 2, 3. Now if you get into your mind what you're trying to achieve, your hands will follow with some practice. So the goal is to do an under braid with 3 strands. And as you braid, you're constantly picking up hair as you go along. You're picking up extra hair. You're using this finger to pick up a little bit more hair to add to the strand that's under it. And you're moving back as you do this. So I slip my finger through, grab a little bit of hair, slip my other finger through, grab a little bit more hair to add to the strand that it's holding, and I move back a little bit. Slip my finger through, grab a little bit of hair, still the 3 braids, 3 strands. Slip my finger through, grab a little bit more hair behind it, and move back a little bit. And I'm grabbing a little bit of hair at a time and adding to the strand that each finger is holding. And it seems like it's my first finger that's slipping through each time and grabbing a little bit more hair. And with this hand, it's my first finger that's slipping in and grabbing a little bit more hair as I move back. So let's look at the positioning of your hands. And you have to have perfectly detangled hair so that you can slip your fingers through easily. Nothing worse than trying to do this and the hair is tangled and your fingers are getting stuck. So be very careful at the hairline not to pull too hard. But that's where I start with 3 short strands. Grab a little more hair. Slip my finger through. Grab a little more hair. Every time my finger comes through, I grab a little more hair and move back. Every time my finger comes through, grab a little more hair. Finger comes through, grab a little more hair. Finger comes through, grab a little more hair. And I have a firm hold on the hair that's already in my hand. Finger comes through, grab a little more hair. Finger comes through, grab a little more hair. Now, as my finger comes through, most of the hair is being held by this hand. So if there's a loose strand I need to catch, I could use this hand to do that. So I go back, and this is the strand that belongs to this hand. So the first strand. So I go back, grab a little more hair, go back under, grab a little more hair. The hair I'm grabbing is behind. Finger goes through. I grab a little more hair over here on this side. Finger goes through. I grab a little bit more hair on this side. When I was first learning how to cornrow, I used to slip my finger under, get the braid done, then I'd use this hand to actually grab a little bit of hair to put in this hand. You can try that if it's easier for you. But the hair that you're grabbing is coming from both sides of the part. Grab a little more hair, put it in my thumb and forefinger, and keep going with the braid. Grab a little more hair, put it in my thumb and forefinger, keep going. And here's where the hair might get tangled. If it's longer, just make sure you detangle it before you keep going. Grab a little more hair, grab a little more hair, grab a little more hair. And then when you get to the place where you don't have any more hair to grab, it's just a regular 3-stranded braid that you do all the way to the end. Or if you want to finish it off with a twist, you can finish it off with a twist. If you want to leave it loose, whatever you want to do. But that's how you do it. And all it takes is practice. And one thing I've learned is, if I could get my brain to understand what I'm trying to do, it's still a 3-stranded braid. I'm incorporating a little bit more hair from the sides, going back, going toward my body, because I'm trying to anchor the braid down to the scalp. If you get your brain to understand that that's what you're doing, don't fall apart with the actual mechanics of what your fingers are doing. Your fingers may create their own positioning, as long as you know what your objective is. So I hope that helps. Whip it real good. Turn around. Turn around so we can see. Okay, turn around. Turn around. All the way. All right, there you have it. You can say bye, MG3.